Hi everyone, it's Tom Mackie here on probably one of the hottest days of the year here in the UK. And across Europe, our fellow photographers have been quoting temperatures of about 45 degrees Celsius, which is just staggering. That would never happen in this country, hopefully. But to cool you off a little bit, I thought I'd take you inside of an ice cave in Iceland. So today I'm going to talk about the techniques that I use to accomplish this image. Now, first and foremost, the technique here is HDR, and if you're not familiar with that term, it stands for high dynamic range. What is high dynamic range? Think of it as a club sandwich of exposures. So you're exposing for your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights, and you're sandwiching those all into one sandwich to accomplish an image like this. And you do that generally in post-processing. So in the field, you're exposing, on this particular image, I exposed 2 stops over, 2 stops under, and 1 stop on. And then combine those in Lightroom in the HDR mode. It's quite simple and easy to use. But the further technique that I had to use in this was to deal with exposures and the focal length of the lens. So in this shot, I wanted to emphasize the motion of the water. So I used an exposure of 1 second to create that. But the problem with that is the rushing water was bringing down little pebbles, and they're hitting the tripod all the time. So I kind of keep my hand on the tripod as I'm exposing just lightly to see if I'm getting any movement. And I could just feel these little pings every so often. So I had to do several exposures to get that exposure for this base, for the water. And then I exposed for the outside, and then I exposed for the inside of the canopy of the cave. Now, a little bit about creating an illusion. In this circumstance, the cave is quite small. It may not look like it here, but I wanted to emphasize, give the illusion of a larger cave. So I used an extreme wide-angle lens, the 14 to 24 mil Nikkor lens. And this is a beautiful lens for creating images like this, especially to accentuate lines that come in from the corners of the frame. And it gives that really nice, large appearance to the inside of the cave, much larger than what it was. I mean, I would say that was probably, I had to duck at this point where I'm standing. The roof of the cave was that low. So the technique I would recommend fellow photographers to keep in mind is to pre-visualize the image beforehand so that you have something to work towards. And you know that image in your mind, and it's just bringing all those techniques together to accomplish it. So using these techniques here, it's exactly the image that I wanted to create that I had in my mind's eye. Now, recently I shared this on Instagram and a lot of other social platforms, and it was so well received that I thought I would share the techniques behind creating this image. So I hope these techniques that I've used on this image have been useful to you. But if you're looking for more techniques and advice, have a look at our website, landscapephotographyiq.com. And on the video below, hit the like button and subscribe. We've got a lot of new videos coming out, so I hope to see you again soon. Bye.